So after that, after I finished my pharmacy degree in Pune, I decided to pursue my master's in clinical pharmacology in a little town called Aberdeen in Scotland. So I went all the way to Scotland to get my MSc in clinical pharmacology. And from there, I had the opportunity, after I finished my master's, I was in the top 5% of the class. So I got an opportunity to get a PhD program that was offered to me. It was a unique program. It was called the NIH, National Institutes of Health Graduate Partnership Program. So one of the very big institutes of research in the world is the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, in the USA.
Hello everyone, welcome in the another episode of 21 Minute Pharma Edge powered by Game of Pharma. And today we have with us a very special guest, Mr. Prateek Bhatia, sir. Sir is a seasoned healthcare management professional currently serving as a vice president at Intrafusion by McKesson, where he leads the team of 300 members, including like clinical and operations team, and also work with companies or organization like US Oncology Network, Prime Healthcare, and LifeBridge Health. Welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you so much, Lokesh. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. So I think I'm cleanly interested into your journey. Like you have started with B.Pharm, like Pune location, and now like you are serving as a vice president role, right? So how was the journey?
Yeah, the journey has been fascinating. In life, oftentimes you plan a lot of things, and many times the plans work out, and sometimes the plans don't, and new things happen to you, and all you do is remain adaptable and say yes to any opportunity you get for growth. So I grew up in India. I grew up in Ahmedabad, actually. My father, Mr. Ashok Bhatt, was in the pharma sales. So grew up in the household, knowing and watching my dad in the pharma industry. So when I finished my schooling, I decided to be a pharmacist. And by applying to various universities, I ended up in the Pune University, and finished my pharmacy. And then after my pharmacy, I had a couple of options. One option was to go work for a pharmaceutical company, whether as a medical rep, or become a practicing pharmacist, or go into R&D or research, or go into management. Um, so when I looked at all of my options, I really got excited and interested in learning, or getting further education in clinical research and clinical trials. Because back then, and this is now 20 years back, clinical research, clinical trials were coming in India in a huge way. So I thought I want to study clinical pharmacology, clinical trials, so that maybe I could get into that line of work. So after that, after I finished my pharmacy degree in Pune, I decided to pursue my master's in clinical pharmacology in a little town called Aberdeen in Scotland. So I went all the way to Scotland to get my MSc in clinical pharmacology. And from there, I had the opportunity, after I finished my master's, I was in the top 5% of the class. So I got an opportunity to get a PhD program that was offered to me. It was a unique program. It was called the NIH, National Institutes of Health Graduate Partnership Program. So one of the very big institutes of research in the world is the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, in the USA. And I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to go to the US to get my PhD in cancer research in oncology. So that's how my career started. I started with B.Pharmacy, went to Scotland for a couple of years to get my master's, and got a chance to come to the US to get my PhD. So that's hopefully is a good answer for your first question, and we can talk a little bit more.
Right, right. So, like I know, as I know you personally, right, that what inspired you to pursue pharma field, right, from starting after 12th. Okay. So just for our audience, like, can you just tell us like what actually inspired you to pursue pharma as a field, right? Because there are a lot of options after 12th, right?
Yeah.
Science person can go for the MBBS, can go for the engineering, all other things were there. And I think at that time also those two careers, right? The engineering and the MBBS was the two fancy career options. But why you choose pharma?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, partly also maybe because I was not smart enough to become a real doctor, I guess. But also, like I said, I saw my father in the pharma industry. I saw a great career path, and the interesting you know uh, result of getting into pharmacy school is you have so many options after getting a pharmacy degree, right? Like I said, you after pharmacy degree, I thought I could go into management if I wanted to become a medical rep, and then sales and marketing. That was one path I could have gone. The other path was I could have become a practicing pharmacist and sort of remain clinical. um, the other option was to get a PhD and get into clinical research and trials and all of that. So I saw that I think the benefit of a pharmacy degree is because you have so many different options. So that's sort of what excited me about, at least initially when I got into that field.
Yeah, and I think like when I was interviewing Ashok sir as well, like he told that how he hustled a lot during that journey, right? So when you see your father hustling a lot, and yeah, get like every time I think your table discussions was also uh, around like pharma brands only, right? That this brand is doing good. Now this company is booming in India, and that was the phase for pharma where pharma
Yeah,
grow a lot in India, right? Right. As
exactly.
yeah, so I think that was the stuff. So as you move to abroad, right? Many students in India right now, like they see their career in abroad, right? Not
Yeah,
in the single field. Like there is MBA, there is clinical research, right? There is specialized field, right, where they want to go for the biopharma or do want to do some specialized course, right, which is not available in India right now, right? So how do
yeah.
you see this exposure, right? And what's your views on कि abroad में क्या career options हैं, right? And how they are better than India or how they are different from the India.
Yeah, yeah, happy to. One thing is very clear, right? I mean, if you look at my career, nothing was planned, like I said. Like I thought I'll go do this, and then something happened and something changed. So, like I said, when I finished my B pharmacy, and I thought that I'm interested in going abroad and getting a master's. Once I went to Scotland, um, frankly, I was very scared. Like I couldn't understand the accent. I couldn't understand. I mean, the way they teach their subjects is very different than how we were taught in pharmacy school, right? It is more they ask their students in the UK and the US to really do a lot more independent research and writing papers, whereas we grew up not doing any of those things. So it was honestly very scary when I got there. But one thing was that the professors, I found that you asked about the difference between the education systems and the experiences, right? What I found was that if you ever got stuck, or if you were scared, or if you had a question, you you had professors or teachers, who were really there to help you. Like I remember my one of my mentors in Scotland at the University of Aberdeen was Dr. Heather Wallace, and um, frankly, after the first 2 months, I went to her and said that, Dr. Wallace, I am really struggling, and honestly, I'm scared that I will fail this course because I don't understand the accent and the language. The subject is different, and I just don't know how to write a paper. Because in the first month, they basically said, you read like 5 books and you write a paper. That's all they told us. They didn't like teach us anything, right? So then she sat me down. I remember after every class on every Tuesdays and every Thursday, she would spend almost like 35, 40 minutes with me and just helping me just think through how to read, how to write a paper. So that level of investment was something that I'd never found in India. Not to say that you don't get professors like that in India, but I think that was just new to me when I went there. Second, the class size was very small, right? In India, typically when I went to pharmacy school, for example, my class size was 65, 70 people, right? So you don't get the time, the attention with the professors because they obviously cannot spend, time with every, 60 people in one class is a lot of people. But in UK, my class size was just 17 people, right? And we had like 5 professors. So the one-on-one attention that we used to get from them, and that really allowed me to understand the possibilities. And as I was finishing up my course, I never thought in my life that I will get a PhD, especially in cancer or oncology, which is such a difficult subject. And when she, my mentor, offered me that, hey Pratik, I think you are intelligent, you are really passionate about oncology, you should think about getting a PhD. And I called up my dad. It's like, Dad, what do I do? Like, and dad's like, are they paying for it? Like, yeah, they'll give me a little stipend. And it's like, how long is the course? It's like 5 years. I'll become a PhD doctor, and then maybe I'll do research after that. And so dad said, sure. And then I was like, yeah, let's do it. So the possibilities are so many more that you don't even realize when you're in pharmacy school what is possible out there. But the theme of my career has been you just go. If you get an opportunity, if you get a mentor and they say this is something good for your career, you just take the blessings and just what you know work hard and see what happens.
One similar questions. Like I think I'm just asking from that ABC level, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
uh, yeah. So the simple question was that because we pursue B.Pharm for 4 years, right? After that, like you
yeah,
move to Scotland, and I think 2 years course that you have pursued, right?
yeah.
After that 5 years of PhD, right? Again, study for next 5 years. Like how you motivated yourself for that 5 years, right? And I think that was not the simple things, right? Because understanding on code, it was really technical in nature, not like that you are learning something related with the management where you learn people skills, right? It was really
Yeah.
technical. So how you stayed motivated for that 5 years?
That's a great question. It wasn't easy, honestly. I'll be very honest, right? You and PhD is an interesting like I don't think really there is a course like that in the entire world because when you start your PhD, you first have to study for the first year, right? And then you have to write what's called the qualifying exam, where you are just doing studying for the first year, and then you write an exam. You do some lab work, and then if you don't clear that, you basically don't get a PhD. You're basically done, right? Because they want you to make sure that you are an expert in the field of oncology even before you begin any experimentation, because you really need to know all the research that has been done in the field of oncology. And then we need to identify that one new thing, right, that has not been researched. And then you focus the rest of the 4 years on that. And even after the end of the 5 years, there is no guarantee. So here's the fun part. I had many friends that I made when I was in the US who were doing their PhD for 8 years, 9 years, and still were not able to get their PhD because in PhD you have to keep going and keep researching and keep writing papers until you find something that is new or not, that nobody else has researched, right? So average PhDs take 5 years, but some people take 6, 7, 8, 9 years to finish it. So it's very, very easy to get demotivated. It is very easy to get distracted. Many people leave their PhDs midway. But honestly, for me, I think my parents was a big support system. They were like, "Hey, keep working hard, and that'll help you." Obviously, my career, and I started seeing that if I get my PhD, I may, at that point, I thought I'll finish my PhD, I'll get my couple of years of postdoctorate fellowship, and maybe I become a professor someday, right? So I started envisioning my future as a professor after finishing my PhD. So that sort of kept me going. And the field of oncology was fascinating, Lokesh. Like when I got into oncology, so incidentally, when I was in Scotland, my master's was in oncology as well. So I did my research thesis in lung cancer. I worked with the Scottish Agriculture Institute, and I studied the impact of strawberries on lung cancer, right? So that was fascinating to me. And then when I came to the US, I started working on neuro-oncology, brain cancer. And I started studying the most aggressive form of brain cancer to exist, right? And when I started really understanding how difficult this disease is, the passion of mine to do something in this field to maybe help out somebody someday, that was what also kept me going, right? So it's that mission also that helps you, especially when you're in the field of oncology.
So as you mentioned that you want to go in that academia, but now you are working in the corporate, right? So as
Yeah.
and you have saw that like how the India work culture, right? Because of your parents, right? So how you see US culture and India culture. I think you can because everyone knows like how these work cultures are different. But can you just elaborate us in terms of like pharma and the healthcare side?
Yeah, happy
Yeah,
to, happy
yeah.
to. Uh, so let me first tell you about the similarities between the two countries, right? So then I'll talk about what's different. So what's common is, I think, hardworking people, right? I think both in India and in the USA, regardless of the industry, but specifically in the healthcare industry, in the pharma industry, the work ethic is very similar. People are very hardworking. People are very ambitious, right? People want to grow. People are mission oriented, right? When somebody becomes a pharmacist or is working for a pharmaceutical industry in India or in the USA, or is doing clinical research in the pharmaceutical sector, I think that level of understanding that what you're doing is for the good of the mankind. Yes, everybody wants to make money, but there is this sense of mission is there. uh, so I think those are the similarities, right? Um, where I would say there are certain differences is, I think, where the focuses lie, right? In the US, in the pharma industry, a lot of focus on innovation, a lot of research, a lot of cutting edge technologies. I think that's sort of the big focus area for them, right?
So I just want to know more about your role. Like, what is intrafusion? Because I'm not. I'm tell you like I'm not a technical person. So when I saw your profile that you have done your PhD in neuro oncology,
Hmm.
I was damn like what question I will ask because I am not a technical guy. I'm a really marketeer guy. So you can understand
Right,
that.
right, right.
Yeah, like who loves to talk with the people who wants to go more about like customer behavior. So I just want to understand your current role. What is
Yeah,
intrafusion and like what your role involves. So yeah.
yeah. Happy to. So, Intrafusion is a company that helps patients get their drugs for these, diseases or clinical conditions which are lifelong chronic conditions. Uh, I think about. I'll give you an example. There are 7 different specialties that we essentially are involved in. So, neurology, rheumatology, gastro, infectious disease, and oncology. So, all of these disease states, right? Think about a cancer patient, right? When they start their cancer, right? Uh, when they start taking the drugs can be given in one or two ways. One is you take through your mouth, right? If it's a capsule or if it's a tablet, or the other way is to get through your IV or intravenous, infusion, right? Most of these cancer drugs are given through a port or through, a IV in your veins, right? Because these drugs are large molecules, so you need to be giving them through an intravenous injection. Similarly, there are many drugs for Alzheimer's, for multiple sclerosis, right? For a lot of allergy, asthma, rheumatoid arthritis. So there are many conditions like oncology where drugs are given by intravenous injections. So we Intrafusion are one of the largest companies in the USA. We have over 150 clinics, 600 doctors, over 300 nurses, and we are the ones who are managing these clinics, taking care of the patients. The patients come into our clinics, and our nurses are the ones who give them their drugs via the intravenous injections. So that's the name, Intrafusion. That's the company, and I'm the GM or general manager of the company. So I am basically the CEO. I run the company end to end. I have various people reporting to me who oversee finance, marketing, clinical operations, accounting, and sales and business development. But I am basically the general manager or CEO of the company, and so that's my role.
I think that's totally different, right? So from a more technical background where you did research for the 5 years, like go depth into like what's going on into the oncology, then neuro oncology type, right? From a leadership kind of role, I think that's a great journey, and I just want to know more about this industry. So let's
Yeah,
let's let's again catch up in the next part, okay? And like know more about, yeah, like your role and this industry. Okay.
fantastic. Sounds good.
Yeah.